Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, unlocking the power of Thinkorswim, the award-winning trading platforms loaded with features that let you dive deeper into the market. Visualize your trades in a new light on Thinkorswim desktop with robust charting and analysis tools, all while you uncover new opportunities with up-to-the-minute market news and insights. Thinkorswim is available on desktop, web, and mobile to meet you where you are. It's built by the trading obsessed to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading. Trading at Schwab is now powered by Ameritrade, giving you even more specialized support than ever before. Like access to the trade desk, our team of passionate traders ready to tackle anything from the most complex trading questions to a simple strategy gut check. Need assistance? No problem. Get 24/7 professional answers and live help, and access support by phone, email, and in-platform chat. That's how Schwab is here for you, to help you trade brilliantly. Learn more at schwab.com/trading.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Welcome back, folks. We have a jam-packed show for you today. Some crazy crimes from all over the country. And Kelly Jennings, they are wilding in Louisiana this week. Mm-hmm. The topics for today: a suspect is arrested for burglary in central Louisiana. He goes to jail. He gets out, and you will not believe what he does next. Also in Louisiana, a man who murdered a state trooper and a woman in Prairieville, Louisiana. He is on his way to Angola, and we got the details on that. An Ohio teacher is sentenced to jail time following a stalking charge in which she visited her ex-boyfriend's workplace some 33 times in 1 month. You are not going to believe this story, and I'll give you a hint, it's not KJ.
It was not me.
An Ole Miss football player is tragically killed in a shooting that took place in Memphis, Tennessee. In New York, a man is killed after being sucked inside of an MRI machine while wearing a metal chain. That's an unbelievable story. How about a Florida woman who was sentenced for following male tourists back to their motels, enticing them to let her inside their hotel rooms, and pepper spraying them and stealing all of their belongings? We've got these stories and more coming up for you today. As always, welcome to CrimeWire Weekly. I'm Jim Chapman.
I am still Kelly Jennings.
You are still Kelly Jennings.
Nothing's changed.
Nothing since last week.
Not that I know of.
Very good. Well, we're going to jump right into it today. We've got a lot of just crazy crimes coming out from everywhere.
It must be the heat.
Gotta be the
People
heat.
are getting just crazy when it's this hot.
Yeah, that's a thing they say, that summertime breeds crime because people are just hot, miserable, and I guess they just want to do wrong.
And limited on deodorant, I'm telling you. I have been out in the wild, and I have been
in the wild.
I have been amazed by the smells. The higher the temps, the higher the crime rate.
That's correct. So we're going to start out in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Shout out Baton Rouge, and a search for a burglary suspect that kept deputies busy this past Monday morning. Deputies from the EBR Parish Sheriff's Office were called to a house in central Louisiana, which is just kind of like the outskirts of East Baton Rouge Parish. According to authorities, the suspect, Henry Taylor, 37, had gone to a tool shed and he had taken out some items. He was then confronted by the homeowner. This was before deputies arrived at the scene. And the homeowner, in an effort to kind of scare this guy away, he shoots a bullet into the ground, intentionally missing the suspects, and no one was hurt. Taylor takes off. He goes into a wooded area near where that homeowner's house was, Deputies, they then set up a perimeter, and they even waited for SWAT to arrive. Now, he eventually surrendered without incident. No problems, right? So deputies said that after seeing pictures of Taylor, they recognized him because he had been arrested in the past. So he was currently on probation for a burglary charge
You're
when
kidding.
he was committing this burglary. And that was out of Livingston Parish, Louisiana, where we record out of. Now, he gets arrested, and that should be the end of our story, right? Well, not quite. On Tuesday, just one day after Henry Taylor bonded out of jail for burglary, he's back behind bars again, this time for breaking into facilities around the East Baton Rouge Parish prison.
Oh, my God.
You can't make that shit up. The dude burglarized the prison. Now, let me tell you what happened. Taylor, of course, is now accused of entering by breaking a window on a guard shack just outside the prison gate. So, after paying his bond, Taylor was seen walking out of the prison. That was at 12:25 a.m. Tuesday morning. He was wearing a brown shirt and blue shorts, which I was like, blue shorts?
Wow.
Blue and brown.
Blue and red. It's a combo for the
Yeah, well, I guess that's his way of hiding.
The recently bonded.
So he had a bandage wrapped around his head, but he never actually left the prison grounds. Around 20 minutes later, he's seen walking from one guard shack toward another before walking a distance back to the first guard shack. He's then seen walking back and forth multiple times. This is all on surveillance video. Around 1:41 a.m., Taylor walks back to what's known as the Unit 2 guard shack, where he allegedly shattered the sliding glass, and he entered that shack. Shortly after, he started walking down the street towards the prison's logistics building, and that was also burglarized around the same time.
Did they say what he took?
Well, we're going to get into that.
Oh, wow.
Officials report that an East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office radio was taken from the guard shack, which was recovered near the logistics building. Detectives also found the bandage that was on his head near the Unit 2 guard shack. So he's not very good at covering his tracks.
No.
I mean, you got a bandage around your head. Let me pull this off and leave it as evidence, right? So, of course, deputies secure a search warrant for his arrest, and they arrest Taylor a second time at his home in Central. And, you know, apparently this guy is just a serial burglar. He can't even help himself. It's like crack to him.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he went for strategy, that he knew that there would be a radio in there, so he wanted to get it so he could listen in as he committed other burglaries, and it would give him like a leg up on getting away or something. That might be giving him way too much credit, though.
Yeah, you might. He doesn't seem like the sharpest of burglars. I mean, I'm not hating on him, but you don't pull your bandage off and leave it at the scene. I mean, here's my DNA.
The sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
Get it? Because he broke into a shed.
Yeah, that was very good. KJ?
Thanks. I can see all your
Snappy.
laughter just rolling out of it. Yeah. So they released him, I'm guessing, late or in the early morning hours, right? If he didn't make it that far and he just went at 1 a.m. and he's back in the sheds.
Yeah, he didn't get barely off the ground, the prison grounds.
Whoever paid that bond, you learn your lesson. Learn your lesson, because I doubt he paid it. He's a burglar.
He looks like a burglar, too.
He does.
Yeah, we'll post his picture on the Facebook page.
That's judgy of us, but...
It is, but if I were to picture a burglar, I'm picturing this guy. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm hating on him. I'm sorry.
He might be. Well, he's a dumbass. So we'll let that slide.
Right.
Hide your kids, hide your wife, and lock up your tool shed if you are in the local area where we're podcasting from right now.
And, shout out to the citizen who actually fired a warning shot and didn't blow this guy's head off, because he could have.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have, so.
Well, he's lucky to be alive. He lives to burglarize another day. All right, so let's go to New York now, where a man whose 9-year-old daughter was found dead in a wooded pond after he reported that she had been abducted while they were vacationing in upstate New York was charged Monday with her murder. Luciana Fratellin, 45, of Montreal, is charged with murdering and concealing the corpse of his daughter, Melina Fratellin, according to New York State Police. A not guilty plea was entered on his behalf at his arraignment on Monday. Luciano called 911 Saturday night and told authorities his daughter had been abducted from a parking lot near Lake George, which is a resort town in the Adirondack region, according to authorities. That led officials to issue an Amber Alert overnight to enlist the public's help in finding her. But authorities said that there were inconsistencies in the father's account and that they concluded there was no evidence that she had ever even been taken. Fradlin initially said he couldn't find his daughter after he stepped out of a wooded area at a parking lot near Lake George. But during a subsequent interview, he then reported 2 unknown males forced her into a white van. Robert McConnell said that lead was thoroughly investigated and it was disproven. Surveillance videos show the father and the daughter in a nearby resort town, which was Saratoga Springs, at about 5:30 p.m. on Saturday. The girl spoke on the phone with her mother for about an hour and then didn't indicate at any point that she was under any type of duress. So police believe Fradlin killed the girl after the phone call and before he made the 911 call. Forest rangers found the girl's body on Sunday afternoon in the shallows of a pond about 30 miles, and Fradlin had concealed her body under a log. The father and daughter had been vacationing since July 11th in the U.S. and were expected back in Montreal that weekend. The girl lived in Montreal with her mother, who has been estranged from Luciano since about 2019. He described himself as a loving father on his Instagram profile, and he also had a website for a coffee company that he was said to have founded, and a post said that his daughter Melina was, quote, the light of his life. Police said Fradlin had no prior criminal or domestic violence history. And then they just released, now that we're recording this, that the autopsy showed preliminary cause of death, which was asphyxia due to drowning.
Oh, my God. That's horrible.
And this child, I know that this probably is irrelevant, but I just have to tell you, I looked up at her little picture, and what a beautiful girl, very Italian looking. You know, she's got the dark skin, she's got long hair, and just absolutely precious young girl.
All girls and all boys and all kids are precious. And,
yes.
You know, with this guy seemingly not having any criminal record, not showing any sort of signs of this in the past, he seemed to be a successful person, business owner, doing all these good things. What drove him to do what I consider about the most horrible thing you could ever do, which is kill one of your own kids in such a heinous way as to drown them?
Yeah.
That is
which you don't want
evil.
You don't want to envision this, but that means he held his own baby girl down and drowned her in this water, and then to lie and say that 2 other men took her. I'm wondering if this was in some way a way to make the mother pay.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
I earned my degree online at Arizona State University. I chose to get my degree at ASU because I knew that I'd get a quality education, they were recognized for excellence, and that I would be prepared for the workforce upon graduating. To be associated with ASU, both as a student and alum, it makes me extremely proud, and having experienced the program, I know now that I'm set up for success. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
I'm not saying she deserved it. I don't want to say that,
but certainly
there's nothing worse she could do.
That's the only thing in his history that you can see where they were having problems. You know, obviously that's a insane person relative to their thinking process right now.
But to plan a vacation.
Yeah.
And then
your daughter make the phone call.
Like call her mama. Maybe that's what set him off.
Well, yeah. I mean, she was killed shortly thereafter, unless that was part of the plan. Maybe
he got mad because she was loving her mama and missing her mama on his vacation. You know, it's
disgusting.
It's beyond disgusting. And then to enter a not guilty plea, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're delusional, and
Well, you got nothing to lose. I mean, you're not right now. You're fighting to not get a death penalty, and you negotiate with
I know
prosecutors as much as possible. They're always going to plead not guilty.
My child is gone, then I don't care if you kill me. I just don't. You know what I mean? So what a piece of shit. Because obviously he only cares about himself, and he's willing to take the life of a child. Sick.
There you have it. Well, let's go to Ohio. And an elementary school teacher who has, problems of her own. When I tell you this story, she was sentenced to jail time after she robbed her ex-boyfriend and caused mental anguish by visiting him at work 33 times in just 1 month after the breakup.
33 times in 1 month. That's like once a day and
That's over
twice.
Once a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my.
She was after the breakup. That's the whole key. Yeah. They weren't dating, and she's going by there on his lunch break. Let's eat lunch together, baby, and all that sort of stuff. This chick was going over there after they broke up 33 times. So according to a report from the Westlake Police Department, officers first became involved in the case after being called to an apartment. This was on November 6th of 2024 for a report of a theft. The victim told police that he recently broke up with his ex-girlfriend, who is 27-year-old Hannah Freeman, and that he believes she entered his car and stole 2 backpacks containing 2 computers and the victim's wallet. In total, the items were worth around $1,200. The victim also told police that Freeman would frequent his place of work as well as his residence, causing stress and mental anguish. Freeman was arrested the next day when the victim called police once again to report that Freeman followed him to his job and was sitting inside of his vehicle.
Oh my God.
Officers said they arrived and they found Freeman in her own vehicle, and that she said she was invited by the victim.
Right,
Okay.
sure.
Believe that.
Okay.
Authorities said they reviewed security camera footage in the area, and they determined that Freeman had shown up at the victim's workplace 33 times on 19 different days over a 30-day period. So more than 2 a day if you only count the 19 different days. Freeman was initially charged with menacing by stalking, but pled guilty to disorderly conduct, obstructing official business, and possessing criminal tools in June. The school district that Freeman worked for announced she was placed on administrative leave after they learned of the situation, and she was sentenced finally to 7 days in jail and 18 months of community control is what they call it there, community service, basically, just this past week.
I kind of like community control better.
Yeah, I do too. It sounds more official.
Yeah.
So you're community control.
I saw a video whenever she was convicted in court or sentenced in court, and she started squalling like she had just been given the death penalty.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's was
crazy.
Shooketh.
She's nuts. And look, y'all, we'll post her picture, and I know this doesn't matter, but I'm just saying she's a very pretty girl that you wouldn't think would stalk her ex-boyfriend the way she was doing. I guess some of the pretty ones are as crazy as some of the ones that aren't so pretty.
Well,
I don't know how to put that, but
hell they are.
This chick here is
this is fatal attraction stuff, like where you just can't. And look, hey, I'm gonna give just an ounce here and say that I think everyone in life has dated the wrong person.
Oh yes,
okay, and they can drive you absolutely insane. But dadgum.
You want me to tell you? I'll tell you. That one's way above and beyond even regular stalking when you go that much. But I'll tell you a quick story. When I was probably 19 years old. I was working at a place. I was dating a girl that also worked there, and she wanted to get more serious than I did. Let's just put it that way. And eventually, I figured this out, and I'm like, okay, I gotta probably
cut the cord,
distance myself from this girl. Very sweet girl, very pretty. So I did that. I just kind of like broke up with her, and one day I get called into the the human resources for the place I worked. I'm trying to avoid saying it.
Yeah.
And they call me in there and they say, and we'll call her girlfriend A. And they say, girlfriend.
Oh, wait a minute. Is there a B?
A. No, I just chose that.
Oh, okay.
They said girlfriend A reported something kind of disturbing to us and we need to get your side of it. And I said, Okay. And they said, well, she said you busted her side view mirror off her car. And I said, what? And they repeated what they said. And they said that she said I did that in the parking lot of this business. And I said, never happened. And so it made me so paranoid, I called the police and I asked them, if someone says I did something I didn't do, am I going to get in trouble? Because I was freaked out by this time because she totally lied.
And you're young, too.
She was trying to get me fired from this place over breaking up with her.
That's insane.
And then, you know what the police said?
What?
If she could tell you did anything to her, and we would have to arrest you, and you would have to just prove that in court.
Yeah.
That scared me shitless.
I bet.
Because I'm like, if she's going to say I busted a mirror off her car, what else is she going to say? You know what I did? Quit the next day.
I would, too.
She got what she wanted because I wasn't playing that game.
Yeah, don't even participate in the game. Now, this is nowhere near...
She was in love.
As close to that.
Wasn't.
Yeah. Well, who's laughing now, Jimothy?
That's right.
Who's laughing now?
What if she's listening now and she's like,
well,
you did bust my... No, I didn't.
Oh, my God.
I did not.
Well, this is nowhere near as cool as that story, but one time I walked past a school, at school, I walked past a car, walking to my car, and someone had suction cupped a tiny little dildo to a window.
That is... way different than my story.
But it makes you wonder why. Like, I stopped and looked at it and wondered, why?
Yeah.
Why would one do this? Is this evil or funny?
It is perplexing.
Very perplexing. But be careful out there, guys.
This was at school?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was a drive-by dildoing.
There you go.
And you... So, protect yourself.
Yeah.
At all costs. All right. Now, look, on a totally opposite end of the spectrum, we have an update now to a story we did. What was that, a week ago? Was it last week or the week before?
It was a week before.
Yeah. And this was about that paddleboarder that had ended up found dead in Maine. Well, in a total...
Sunshine, they call it.
Yeah, sunshine. Yeah. Just out doing her thing, minding her own business, living a very authentic life, doing just normal things. And now, in a huge twist of events, a teenager has been arrested in the death of the paddleboarder who was found dead 2 weeks ago near a Maine pond. Maine State Police arrested a 17-year-old boy who was from Maine in connection with the death of Sunshine, who went by Sonny Stewart. He was taken into custody without incident and taken to Long Creek Youth Development Center in South Portland. An official familiar with the investigation said that the teen was in the Crawford Pond area to spend summer vacation time with his family. The teenage suspect reportedly led police on a wild goose chase through the vacation destination as locals feared the possibility of a killer lurking within this remote campsite. The body of 48-year-old Sunshine Sonny Stewart was discovered on a remote island in Union's Crawford Pond earlier this week after departing for a solo paddleboarding trip. An autopsy determined Stewart's cause of death was strangulation and blunt force trauma. Nearly 2 weeks later, authorities arrested a 17-year-old male, and he had been charged directly in connection to her murder. Both Stewart and the teenager were reportedly staying at Micmac Campground when the alleged killing occurred. It's not a place where these things happen, Catherine Lunt said, and she's the owner of Micmac. It's not a place where we're suspect of each other. As authorities raced to find Stewart's killer, Lunt reportedly combed through surveillance footage from across the campground in search for anything suspicious. I was looking for a stranger, Lunt said, somebody out of the ordinary. Absolutely nobody was looking for a child. We were looking for an adult. The search continued with Maine State Police reportedly zeroing in on a remote area where Stewart's paddleboard was found. I was obsessed with finding out who did this, Lunt said, because it was terrifying for everybody. Meanwhile, the teenager who was visiting the campground with his parents was reportedly eager to aid in the hunt for Stewart's killer. He would often offer to help fellow campers with their pets or yard work. He enjoyed doling out these wooden crafts and taking his little boat out on the water, according to Lunt. So she seems to be very aware of what was going on at her campsite. He volunteered, she said. He said he had some information, and he took them in the opposite direction of where Sonny was found. He had said he had something to show them, then took them out on the lake on pretty much a wild goose chase. As the next 2 weeks went on, the teenager was acting completely normal. He acted like nothing ever happened, and it's haunting, she added. He was not on anybody's radar. Police reportedly spoke with the teenager for several hours before leaving the campsite, and later that evening, that's when authorities returned to arrest him. just thinking, no way, this cannot be happening, Lunt said. Then I went back to the surveillance cameras to see where he was at the time of the killing, and those surveillance videos indicated he was on the lake at that time. The footage reportedly showed the suspect returning to land just before sunset on the evening of Stewart's alleged murder. We have a lot of kids, and they do a lot of things, she told ABC News, but not anything that would make you think that a child was going to murder somebody here. I have nothing nice to say. It's disgusting. And in a brief court appearance on Friday, the teenager entered a denial to the charge and is currently being held at a youth detention facility in the Portland area ahead of his status conference on August 22nd. The state attorney general's office is asking the court to try the teenager as an adult. And if convicted as an adult, that teenager would face a maximum prison sentence of 25 years to life.
Yeah, and on this one, there's a lot of obvious disturbing things. The murder in and of itself is very disturbing. The age of the accused is very disturbing. This kid's totally ruined his life. But what disturbed me more than anything else about this is the fact that there's absolutely, it appears, no remorse at all.
None.
As a matter of fact, this kid's running around, quote unquote, helping the police. It's almost like he thinks it's funny.
Yeah, and he inserted himself in the investigation, which is so common.
Yeah.
It's so common because they want to be a part of something.
Well, and they want to make sure you don't find evidence.
Yeah, so I went the opposite direction.
Where are you at in this investigation? And that way they can be prepared. But shout out to the owner of this campground that she was able to kind of piece this all together just from looking through surveillance cameras and seeing his movements.
Yeah, and I kind of felt bad for her because they named the campground, and that's going to be some bad publicity, although she had nothing to do with it.
Right.
But really, kudos, like you said, to her, because this woman did above what you would. It seems like she knows her campsite, she knows her area, and she went back and she wanted the answers. How could this happen at my place of business?
That's right.
Now, 17 years old, and
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu. At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
and out there with his family and feeling comfortable enough to manually kill this woman is
In the why. I mean, why would you? This woman, from all accounts, was just an amazing human.
Yeah.
Everybody loved her.
But she
Why?
said this campground owner said something, and I think it's just so poignant because it's true. No, I was looking for a stranger. No one was looking for a child. But that's what happens. No bad guy, for the most part. We just said that guy looked like a burglar. He does. He looks like a burglar now that we know. But if that guy had on a collared polo and walked into Walmart, you and I would have thought nothing of it.
I would have thought he was a
Jim-
burglar.
Jim-
I'd have said, that's a freaking burglar if
right
I've ever
there on
laid
that
my eyes on one.
apple and orange aisle. But no, but we look at these people, and for some reason we always think that the bad guys are going to look like bad guys, and that's why they're so good at getting away for a while with what they do.
Yeah.
Disarming people. You don't look at a 17-year-old and think he's going to try to kill me.
Not in that circumstance, for sure.
But he obviously hit her in the head because there was that blunt force trauma, and then he strangled her. So hopefully, in some weird way, I hope that maybe she wasn't conscious and that the terror wasn't ongoing, while this was going on.
And I'm going to do
awful.
something just before I get into this next story, kind of different than what we normally do, because it just occurred to me.
Okay.
I don't know, Kelly, and y'all, this is totally off the cuff. Kelly doesn't even know this is coming, but I don't know. Did you get a chance to see the sentencing for Brian Kohberger?
Oh, you damn right I did.
Okay, did you see?
The sister?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, no, the reason I know to say it is because I have a new hero in life.
Oh, me too.
And it's her.
I love her.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay, here's what we're going to do for you right now. We're going to play the sister's full statement. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play the sister's full statement right now. You have got to hear this.
Yes.
It might be the best, and that's kind of a weird way to say it, but it might be the best victim impact statement that I've ever heard in my life.
She nails it.
Does she nail it? I'm getting chills.
I am too, look.
So you're going to listen to this now. We're going to go ahead and play it. Here it is.
Hello. I'd like to start by thanking the court for allowing me the time and opportunity to speak today. My name is Olivia, and I'm the big sister of Kaylee Gonzalez. Blessed to love Madison Mogan as a sister, too. I'm not here today to speak in grief. I'm here to speak in truth. Because the truth is, my sister Kaylee and her best friend Maddie were not yours to take. They were not yours to study, to stalk, or to silence. They were two pieces of a whole, the perfect yin and yang. They are everything that you could never be. Loved, accepted, vibrant, accomplished, brave, and powerful. Because the truth about Kaylee and Maddie is they would have been kind to you. If you had approached them in their everyday lives, they would have given you directions, thanked you for the compliment, or awkwardly giggled to make your own words less uncomfortable for you. In a world that rejected you, they would have shown mercy. Because the truth is, I'm angry. Every day I'm angry. I'm left shouting at the inside of my own head everything I wish I could say to you. The truth about me is when I heard the news, I didn't cry. I listened for them. I promised them I would, that I would fight for them, that I would show up no matter what it cost me. I swore I'd never let them feel alone. Because you see, I've always been their heavyweight. I've always been the one to fight the battles they didn't feel ready to fight themselves. All it ever took was a call, and they knew I would handle it for them, no matter the time, no matter the cost. They could wave their white flag because they knew I would never back down, not for them, and not even death could change that. Somewhere along the line, I started to think about what I would say to them if I was given just one last chance. If I could gather enough heartbreak or love or sacrifice or whatever it took to get just one message across. What would I say? Throughout this entire process, I've written my feelings down at every moment, my wishes, my love, my denial, my anger. And as one final act of love, I'd planned to read these thoughts, even jarring and discombobulating and not even making sense. Because for me, that was true love. As bare and as naked as it could be, not laced in pretty words or dressed for the occasion, but written through bleary eyes at 2 a.m. with clenched fists, angry at this reality. My true final act of love was to continue on without them, for them. That dream to read aloud my love to them, to bring meaning through pain, was the latest blow in realizing you don't deserve it. And Kaylee and Maddie don't need it. Kaylee and Maddie have always known my love, and they would never ask me to prove it by further victimizing myself to a defendant who has shown no guilt, no remorse, no apprehension. They would say to me, "Why would you give the satisfaction of showing vulnerability now? You promised you would never back down." And for that clarity, I'm thankful. I won't stand here and give you what you want. I won't offer you tears. I won't offer you trembling. Disappointments like you thrive on pain, on fear, and on the illusion of power. And I won't feed your beast. Instead, I will call you what you are. Sociopath, psychopath, murderer. I will ask the questions that reverberate violently in my own head, so loudly that I can't think straight most any day. Some of these might be familiar, so sit up straight when I talk to you. How was your life right before you murdered my sisters? Did you prepare for the crime before leaving your apartment? Please detail what you were thinking and feeling at this time. Why did you choose my sisters? Before making your move, did you approach my sisters? Detail what you were thinking and feeling. Before leaving their home, is there anything else you did? How does it feel to know the only thing you failed more miserably at than being a murderer is trying to be a rapper? Did you recently start shaving or manually pulling out your eyebrows? Why November 13th? Did you truly think your Amazon purchase was untraceable because you used a gift card? How do you find it enjoyable to stargaze with such a severe case of visual snow? Where is the murder weapon? The clothes you wore that night? What did you bring into the house with you? What was the second weapon you used on Kaylee? What were Kaylee's last words? Please describe in detail the level of anxiety you must have felt when you heard the Bearcat pull up to your family home on December 30th, 2022. Which do you regret more? Returning to the crime scene 5 hours later, or never, ever going back to Moscow, not even once, after stalking them there for months? If you were really smart, do you think you'd be here right now? What's it like needing this much attention just to feel real? You're terrified of being ordinary, aren't you? Do you feel anything at all? Or are you exactly what you always feared? Nothing. If you're so powerful, then why are you still hiding, defendant? You see, I'm here today as me. But who are you? Let's try to take off your mask and see. You didn't create devastation. You revealed it in yourself. And that darkness you carry, that emptiness, you'll sit with it long after this is over. That is your sentence. And it was written on the wall long before you ever pled guilty. You didn't win. You just exposed yourself as the coward you are. You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser who thought you were so much smarter than everybody else. Constantly scolding, turning your nose up to grammar mistakes, nitpicking and criticizing others. You wanted so badly to be different, to be special, to be better, to be deep, to be mysterious. You found yourself thinking you were better than everyone else, and you thought you could figure out the human psyche and see through it, all while tweaked out on heroin.
Extreme cold weather advisory in effect this morning.
You're a contractor. You have a contract.
All right, guys, come on. Let's do this.
A little snow and ice isn't stopping you. Not today, not any day. Shouldn't your flashing tape be working through it all too? Only Frog Tape Pro-Grade Flashing Tape's high-performance acrylic adhesive sticks, re-sticks, and stays stuck, even on the roughest surfaces in rain, snow, heat, and more. So you stay in control when it matters most. Show weather who's boss with Frog Tape Pro-Grade Flashing Tape.
Lurking in the shadows made you feel powerful because no one ever paid you any attention in the light. You thought you were exceptional, all because of a grade on a paper. You thought you were elite because your online IQ test from 2010 told you so. All of that effort just to seem important. It's desperate. There is a name for your condition, though. Your inflated ego just didn't allow you to see it. Wannabe. You act like no one could ever understand your mind, but the truth is you're basic. You're a textbook case of insecurity disguised as control. Your patterns are predictable. Your motives are shallow. You are not profound. You're pathetic. You aren't special or deep, not mysterious or exceptional. Don't ever get it twisted again. No one is scared of you today. No one is intimidated by you. No one is impressed by you. No one thinks that you are important. You orchestrated this like you thought you were God. Now look at you, begging a courtroom for scraps. You spent months preparing, and still all it took was my sister in a sheath. You work so hard to seem dangerous, but real control doesn't have to prove itself. The truth is, the scariest part about you is how painfully average you turned out to be. The truth is, you're as dumb as they come. Stupid, clumsy, slow, sloppy, weak, dirty. Let me be very clear. Don't ever try to convince yourself you mattered just because someone finally said your name out loud. I see through you. You want the truth? Here's the one you'll hate the most. If you hadn't attacked them in their sleep, in the middle of the night, like a pedophile, Kaylee would have kicked your fucking ass. Thank you.
Thank you.
So here's what we're going to do. And of course, all the victim impact statements deserve to be heard. So at the end of this episode, when we're done with it, I'm going to go ahead and insert the entire full victim impact statement from everybody. If you want to listen, you're welcome to listen. If you don't listen. But I think they all deserve to be heard. But this girl right here, what you just heard, if that did not move you in a way that you just can't imagine, then you're not living.
Yeah. Now, real quick.
That's all I can tell you. You're not breathing.
Just in case you're not familiar with that case, that's the Idaho 4, those 4 college kids that were slaughtered while they were trying to sleep by Kohberger that broke in and did these horrible things.
Yeah.
And so he took a plea deal, and everyone, I think, for the most part, recognizes that he's a freaking coward, and he didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So when that, I'm going to say little girl, because compared to me, she's in her 20s, but when that girl got up there, she did not stutter. She spoke with passion. She looked at him, and she said it with her damn chest.
Yeah.
She is the sister that every girl wants.
Yeah, and what really appealed to me, y'all, she was using a lot of psychology. If you know psychology, you know what she was doing. And he did not like it.
No, he didn't.
He did not like it.
Woo, she hit him where it hurt.
At the very end of what you just heard, when she said, you're lucky you attacked her in her sleep because she would have kicked your fucking ass. That ate him up. Because of who he is.
Yes. Somebody who wants to be somebody so bad.
Yeah.
He wants people to be afraid of him so bad. And she looked him in, and when I say said it with her chest, looked him in his eyes and said, "You're still a nobody.
Yeah.
You did all of this, and we're not afraid of you.
Yeah.
We're not afraid of you.
2 months of planning and you left the sheath. How stupid are you?"
Yeah.
Because that's what he gets off on, and we won't belittle this point, if that's a word, but he gets off on the fact that he's smarter than everybody. And what she did was, we call that a good old fashioned dressing down of that guy. And she told him, in the South, we say she told him about himself.
Yeah.
That's what she did. And damn, it was good.
So look, when you're in prison, okay, when an officer chews you out, okay, and this could be, look, it could change from location to location, but when I was in prison, not locked up, but working there, if an officer told an inmate basically how the cow ate the cabbage, we called it blow him down. Bro, he blew him down.
Yeah.
Okay. She blew him the fuck down because she let him know there was no, I loved it. She said, "I'm not going to give you the tears. I'm not going to," she didn't cry and say, "I hope you're miserable." No, she told him about himself.
Yeah.
She told him indirectly. She's not listening to this, but I want you to know, if you know her from a, I bleed America, I bleed strong women, and I bleed the fact that you look somebody in the eye and you tell them exactly who they are when they offend you in such a way, and you take such beautiful lives away. Kids that did nothing to you, and she was right. And honey, you were right, and I believe you. Your sister would have whooped his fucking ass.
Yeah. Yeah,
Amen.
I loved it.
Amen.
And I knew there was going to be some sort of explosion from somebody from that family. And I was glad to see it. I was happy that she handled it perfectly.
It was a controlled explosion. That's what made it so good.
Yes, it was just, I'm not going to give you the satisfaction of showing you hurt me.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you who you are, who you really are, which is insignificant, a movie of the week, all those sorts of things. FBK, that's all I got to say about it. But we'll get back to what we're here for. I just wanted to, it occurred to me about that, and I thought it was very important to mention. But we're going to go to New York again. And we're going to, when I saw this story, I had to verify it 3 times because I couldn't believe it. A 61-year-old man who suffered critical injuries after being pulled into an MRI machine while wearing a metal chain has died. The incident, which occurred Wednesday afternoon at a medical building in Westbury, New York, according to the Nassau County Police Department, officers responded to what's known as Nassau Open MRI following a 911 call and were informed the man had entered an unauthorized magnetic resonance imaging room while the scan was in progress. The male victim was wearing a large metallic chain around his neck, causing him to be drawn into the machine, which resulted in a medical episode. The man, whose name has not been released, was transported to a local hospital in critical condition, and he has succumbed to his injuries and pronounced dead Thursday afternoon. Now, for those who weren't familiar, and I honestly wasn't, MRI machines use a strong magnetic field. I didn't realize it was that strong in producing detailed images. Patients are advised to remove jewelry and other metal objects prior to getting the scan. Nassau Open MRI, which has several locations, offer both open and closed scans according to his website. And I did confirm this with someone that actually works in an MRI.
Yeah.
And they told me that it is not common that this happens at all.
It's
there
literally
were a few
the reason
instances,
they want you to take the stuff off.
and they have a lot of safety checks before. It was shocking to this person that this even happened because there had to be a major basic failure in security to allow this to happen. Now, the only thing that she could come up with was maybe he forgot he had the chain on and they just didn't check.
Well, there's an update that actually, while you're saying this, an update just came out. So I'm going to give it to you. So the guy's name was Keith McAllister. And so from what the update is saying was that his wife was actually getting the MRI. She started yelling. Yes, she started yelling out for some reason. He came through the door. He was told, go back, go back, go back. But he went to his wife, and that's why he was sucked into the machine. Now, I have not validated this. Again, it just came up on the phone as an update. But it seems like that would make more sense. Because, look, when I've gone in for MRIs, they even asked me if I had bobby pins. You know, do you have a wire in your bra? Do you have, I mean, they've asked a million things. I'm like, shit, don't suck my tits up in the damn machine.
They asked me if I had nipple ring.
Do you?
Yes. I had to remove them.
Timothy!
Y'all will never know. I wouldn't tell you.
This to me is heartbreaking if that is in fact the case, because he heard his wife yelling. You know, and if he ran to save her, you can't say that that's not admirable in some way. In some way,
there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I did not realize it's a metal chain, but god dang, the magnets are that strong.
What if it was one of those big old chains? Like,
still, you would think he. I mean, obviously he couldn't, but according to the person I talked to, they're that strong.
So
they will yank your ass into them.
So it said he suffered multiple heart attacks. I wonder if it was the stress of it or whatever. But so if you have a metal plate in your head, you can't get an MRI?
No, not unless you want your head to ding at the top of I guess I'm guessing.
We're not medical professionals.
I don't see how you if you couldn't tell, we're definitely not. But that's a good question. I'm going to ask that person. If you what do they do in that situation?
I guess they have to just go a different route.
Yeah.
I guess maybe too, it depends on what they're looking for also. Like MRIs can't be the only way to detect problems, right? Hey
I
guys,
don't know. I would be a really bad, but I have a person who I can ask.
Ask that person. And right now there's probably a nurse or a tech.
They're probably like, God, y'all are dumb. Y'all don't know nothing about MRIs.
Yeah, well,
let us know. We're going to we'll post the guy's picture on Facebook and comment underneath it if you know the answer to if you can get an MRI with a metal plate in your head.
Yeah. And hey,
because Kelly has a metal plate in her head.
I need a few because I'm hard-headed. That's probably why. But I do want to say this too. You know, if that's true that he was going in and he was just worried about his wife, my heart goes out for real. My heart goes out, and he probably didn't think that was going to happen, and neither did she.
I wouldn't have known.
Either way, the family, we really do. We want to extend our condolences to anyone who may know him, and that's a tragedy in and of itself. Now let's go to Florida. Something always happens in Florida.
Florida wild.
I love being there. Matter of fact, I'm going there next week. So this is what happened. Dwayne Chapman, who rose to fame because of his Dog the Bounty Hunter show, he married Francie Chapman in 2021. If you remember, Francie was his wife, Beth, who passed away from cancer. That was her best friend.
Yep.
But in a heartbreaking event that unfolded over the weekend, Francie's son, Gregory Zecca, is said to have fatally shot his teenage son, Anthony. Hey everyone, CrimeWire Weekly has moved to its own new channel.
We hope you've enjoyed this preview. To continue listening, please follow the link referenced in the description of this podcast.
Or simply search CrimeWire Weekly wherever you're listening.
And don't forget to follow the show so you can be alerted when new episodes drop.
Thanks for listening.